and it is episode 166. Welcome into the Benches Cleared podcast, where we cover the best rivalry in all of sports. I am Jesse Gutierrez, and I represent the side of the San Francisco Giants, who are not signing anybody.
And I'm Dave, representing the side of the Dodgers, who just needed to do one last move before the end of the year, just to get people talking, give something, something to talk about.
It feels already like the year has started. I mean, I don't know, just because like Christmas is over, we're wearing new Christmas. Is that a new Christmas sweater, or you've always had that?
I've had this one.
You've had it? Okay, well.
But this one's new. This one right here is new.
Okay. It's really bright. You can't really see what it says.
Damn it.
It's probably a knockoff anyways.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I feel like before we get into stuff, maybe we should talk about the hottest topic going on in baseball right now.
The Dodgers?
Cam Newton talking crazy. If you haven't heard, maybe we should let's play the clip really quick and we'll get into it.
Let's show them.
All right.
Baseball is like I hate to say a dying sport. I think baseball will be surpassed by WNBA in 20 years.
Now I'm gonna say some stuff, but respectfully, because I don't know if you remember. I don't know if you remember seeing Cam Newton throw grown men around, like made them. I literally thought they were like children when he was throwing men around. But that's got to be one of the dumbest takes I've ever heard in my life.
And
like,
also, before you go on, we don't hate the WNBA either. Like they didn't make this comparison. They were just brought in, unfortunately, and now they're in the light. But like
now they're gonna catch strays.
Like it's kind of like that 50 Cent. Like, why are you talking to me for? Like,
why you say 50 for?
Yeah. So
yeah. So with all respect to the WNBA, because they are getting bigger for sure. Obviously, there's a lot going on with obviously Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese and that whole situation. So yes, they are doing better than they were before, but let's not act like it's even comparable. I mean, Dave, you looked up the statistics, right? And how far are they apart on finals ratings?
All right, so the WNBA Finals 24, they had 1.6 million viewers, and that was their most viewed in 25 years. So awesome. But the Dodgers had I don't know if I have the one for the Dodgers, but they had 15 million or something like that, a little bit over that for the Dodgers Yankees World Series. So, and I mean, yeah, it's two iconic franchises, the biggest markets. I get that, but I mean, even if you want to compare it to the lowest ratings one, which was last year when the Rangers played the Diamondbacks, which was like 8 million. I mean, and that's their lowest viewed. So,
right.
There's not really much of a comparison to be made.
Baseball's been going up, and then 2023, the World Series dipped down a little bit, and then it went back up to its highest. So, I mean, I just feel like the people who comment on NBA, NFL, they're so disconnected for what's going on in baseball right now, that they should just tone it down. Maybe just not speak about a sport that you don't know anything about. Everything is going up in an upward trajectory right now. It has a lot of marketable, great stars in the game.
I mean, if you're a baseball fan, you think the sky is falling because new rules and the Dodgers are ruining baseball and they're just all this other things. But if you're a casual fan, you literally just saw the two biggest markets duke it out. In the World Series, you're seeing Shohei being like shown everywhere all the time. Like if you're a casual fan, it's fun. There's a lot of stars out there. There's something to be watched every day. Tatis is out there. He's back now. So you get a lot of players that are very marketable. That for the casual fan, it's like there's a lot to be seen. Like, and you go to the WNBA, and I don't want to be disrespectful or anything, but I mean, the only reason I watched a couple of games this year was because ESPN was showing Caitlin Clark, and she is exciting. She's really exciting to watch, man. And hitting threes from the logo and whatever it is, it's exciting. But there's not a Caitlin Clark on every team, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So that's the problem.
Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe this is like a thing just because it gets a lot of traction. That's the commodity right now, right? It's just whatever can get you the most traction. So is it a traction type thing to say? Maybe. I don't know. That you're going to get the baseball community all butthurt and, and, do response to all types of podcasts like obviously we're doing right now. But I don't know, man. Just why you got to pull us into this? Like, what do we do?
And here's the thing, like, in 20 years, are we going to have that many more Caitlin Clarks? Maybe. But this was the first Shohei. We might have many more Shoheis coming up now because they want to try doing the, hitting and pitching. So who knows? Maybe it'll be even more exciting in 20 years for baseball. We don't know. But
right.
I don't know. I just don't think they're not comparable at all, dude. To be respectful, there's no comparison.
Yeah. And I guess moving on for that, there's some baseball moves that actually happened to a sport that apparently nobody watches. I don't know where you want to go. Do you want to just talk about Teoscar? Do you want to leave him for the end? Do you want to be sad boy about Walker Buehler? There's many ways we can go about this. I'll just let you take the floor because it's all you. All right.
I think the writing was on the wall for Walker Buehler. And I thought when they got Snell, it wasn't like they chose Snell over Buehler. I don't think that was the case because, I mean, you're going to go with Snell 100% of the time, right? Like, he had I just thought it was more of a choice if he wants to come back and prove it, is he's willing to pitch on a 6-man rotation, especially on a prove it year kind of thing that he was looking for, it seemed. So it sucks, but at the same time, he's one of those players that, unless it was the Giants, I will root for him no matter where he goes. Like, he's just one of those players that gave so much to the team that you want him to be successful no matter where he goes. So it is a little sad because even though we all knew that this was a real possibility of happening, when it does happen, it still hits the same. And it's still, it's almost like you lost a family member sometimes when you get so attached to these players. I try not to anymore because I remember the first one was like Paul LaDuca, and when they traded him, I was like, okay, yeah, never again because this sucked. But you still get attached to some of these players, and so when they get traded, when they sign somewhere else, yeah, it stings a little. This one's gonna sting for a while.
It's like when Jon Snow died on Game of Thrones,
But he came back. So
he did come back.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
Maybe.
Okay.
I don't know. I feel, and I knew everyone kept on saying Walker Buehler was going to get a 3 or 4 year deal, and I just didn't see it. I for sure thought he was going to get a 1 year prove it deal so he can prove that he's that guy to get a monster deal next year. I thought maybe he would have done one of those, 2 years with the opt out after one, or a 3 year with the opt out after one, whatever. But to go for a straight 1 year deal, that's qualifying offer money.
Yeah, exactly. Basically a qualifying offer.
And it's like, for dollar was qualifying offer money. And it's weird that you would go to Boston though for a prove it deal, for me at least. I thought maybe you'd want to go, obviously, with the best framing catcher in baseball and in the biggest ballpark. You could have went to San Francisco. But I don't know. Maybe he's a real loyal guy, and that's fine. He could have went to Detroit, went to New York. The Mets, New York. There's other pitching ballparks. You could have went to Kansas City. There's a lot of decently pitching ballparks to where if you're going to do a prove it year, you want those numbers to be low. That's where you would go. So that part was a little confusing to me, but is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, I guess maybe that's just the best spot for him. I don't know, because he did. I guess if the Dodgers would have given him the qualifying offer, he might have taken it. I read it somewhere, but they didn't want to, do a disservice to him, and so they wanted him to have a market. But maybe it's, this guy's a guy that like lives off the adrenaline. So maybe the rivalry over there with the Yankees, I don't know. It is Boston. It's a pretty cool place to play for anyway. So I don't know. Hopefully he does well, and hopefully the Boston doesn't do well, and they trade him back at the deadline to us.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
that's always a possibility. Yeah, that's kind of he's going to be the talk, I think, trade deadline wise. That like,
If they're
a
no
guy
good.
like I mean, even if they're like, teetering on what they are now. I mean, what they did last year where it's like they're probably not going to make it and this sort of thing that they might be able to get a decent return for him because he's known as a postseason guy. So,
But I mean, that rotation is pretty good now, right? Like they got
right.
Crochet, they got Buehler, they got a couple of young guys in that rotation. I forgot who they are, but yeah, they
Right.
got a good rotation. I mean, and the AL isn't that strong, so
Yeah.
you never know.
Yeah, and Lucas Giolito's coming. Yeah, Boston's going to be a good team, and I think Baltimore. I don't think that they've gotten better. I mean, they lost Corbin Burnes, Anthony Santander. It doesn't seem like they're going to sign either of them. And they've gotten Tyler O'Neill, Gary Sanchez, and the other Japanese pitcher, which could be very good. But
But he's 38.
is he 38?
I think he's 38, right? 35, 38, something like that.
That's a good question. That might have to do a little bit of research really quick, but we'll we'll move back on to that. But I think the AL there's a very clear lane, and I don't know. It's a very clear
35.
lane, and I think there's a lot of room to be that team. I think the Yankees are good, but I don't know. I just feel like Boston's not that far behind them.
Yeah, and the pitcher's 35.
35,
Yeah,
which is basically 38.
basic.
So basically, you were right. Um, to I don't know if you can call this a move, really, but how does it feel? I mean, I think Dodger fans have wanted Nolan Arenado for a long time, and now Nolan Arenado really wants you, but now at this time, there's no really room for him. It's like one of those, you have a crush on this chick, but she's got a man, and now she becomes available. But then you're living in Australia. I don't know. I'm just making up Hallmark movies, movie lines. So, but
Well, I'll start by saying, even though some people don't agree with me, that I am a Muncie fan, right? And
okay,
my big thing for a while was his glove. I was like, yeah, you can't. Doesn't have any range over there. It doesn't seem like he can pick it. Like it's a liability. I'm like, yeah, but he gives you 20 plus home runs, whatever it is, you can live with it. And then last year happened, and we lost him for a long time, and I grew to miss his glove. Like the pieces that we kept sticking over there just did not play consistently well. And so when he came back, it was like, it's not a gold glover, but he's really solid over there, right? And
really,
he, yeah, he was solid for us, I think. And he hits. So, I know he didn't have a hit in the World Series, but I mean, more times than not, this guy is hitting bombs out of the ballpark. So, and then you look at Arenado and he's trending downwards. Like you're giving up, you're gonna have to give up something. You're gonna have to pay the money that's owed to him, and you have to pay what Colorado owes him because once he gets traded, then that kicks in. So is all that worth it for the glove? Because I don't know if the bat's there anymore. So maybe it's just a little too late.
yeah, I think it is too late. I think it's more likely that like I don't know because if he's saying no to Houston, and there's no way that Houston can come back in because they signed Christian Walker, and they have Paredes for third base. I don't know. I don't know how much does Jordan play left field because you can obviously throw it in the DH position. I just don't see him moving, going back to Houston. I think he kind of blocked that whole situation. I know it was like, well, it's no to Houston right now. Maybe I'll come back to, and it's like, well, they're moving on, dude. Like you can't just make a team wait for you. So if LA is like, we have no room for you because we like Muncie, and whatever the deal, because I don't think the Cardinals really want to pick up all that much money, and the only way that the Dodgers will take Nolan Arenado is if they pay a lot of that money. So, I don't know. I just feel like he's going to have to go somewhere else or stay a Cardinal.
Yeah,
And
because
in all honesty, we're going to get to this a little bit later because I don't know what the plan is in San Francisco, but maybe he plays first base for San Francisco. I don't know. We need a little bit of a offensive upgrade at first base. Not a lot of options over there.
What is it, 20 million plus or something? If you're going to pay that much, I don't know. You got to be certain of what you're getting and not just getting the glove.
Yeah, it's only for 3 years, though. Honestly, in just like Goldschmidt, Nolan Arenado has destroyed at Oracle. So, I would love to see it. I'm a big Nolan Arenado fan. Obviously, he's not going to get any third base reps with Matt Chapman being there, unless there's like an IL stint, which is possible. I mean, guys get hurt. It is what it is. But we'll get into that a little bit later. But I just I can't think of another team that would need a third baseman or a first baseman like that.
The Mets?
Who?
The Mets?
Maybe the Mets. They'll eat some money, I guess. Yeah.
They're looking to make moves. They're looking to make splashy moves. So maybe the Mets. I thought the Yankees would do it, but apparently they're out of it, or they're not. They weren't interested. Yeah. I don't know. So, which makes sense.
Phone calls.
Which makes sense because you're basically just the St. Louis Cardinals of New York at that point, with Goldschmidt and Arenado. But
right.
Yeah, I don't think he has a lot of options, man. I think if he really wanted to get out of there, he should have taken the Houston deal.
Yeah. No, and I think he's going to realize that he kind of made a bad decision on that one. But, who knows? But moving on from Nolan Arenado, I guess that means we're moving on from someone who is not wanted to someone who everyone else wants, and that's Roki Sasaki. Nothing really has changed as far as obviously the Dodgers and the Padres are seen as the favorites. I don't know. I feel like every fan base is like, oh, just sign Roki Sasaki. And it's like, well, it's not really up to you. Like you can't like, hey, I'm going to give you this, blow everybody out of the water and like Steve Cohen the situation. Unless, I don't know. I feel like there's a way that you could just be like, hey, if you we'll give you, let's say $20,000 of a signing bonus so we can still sign our international free agents. And then before you even throw a pitch, we're going to give you a $200 million contract or a $300 million contract, whatever. Like the whole Corbin Carroll situation. I think that's the only way you could really blow them out of the water. But
no one's doing that.
Why not, though?
Because you're bringing a guy over who needs to adjust to MLB, right? Whether he's the next phenom or not, injury is still a risk. And if you're going to spend that much money when you don't have to, why would you do it?
But this guy is 20 years old.
But it doesn't matter. You have that insurance that you're not paying anything for that. Wow, that's how they're going to see it.
Yeah, but I understand that. But you're also this is the guarantee that you get this guy. Maybe he wants to be a free agent in 6 years, and at 26, he's going to get the $700 million contract too. But maybe it's not like, hey, we're giving you a 13-year deal. Maybe it's like, hey, we're giving you a 6-year deal to buy out all your years of arbitration. That's like a solid deal, and you'll get this large signing bonus up front, whatever. And that way you can guarantee signs with your team and it doesn't sign with your rival.
Maybe, but that's probably not what's appealing to these owners. They're like, we get this guy at a immense talent for pennies. Why would we give them cash when we don't have to right now? So
it's just a guarantee that's just going to guarantee you in the like if it's all things are considered. Yeah, he's probably going with the Padres because you Darvish, or he's going with the Dodgers, who just seems like through everything that's been going on, they've been the ones that have been linked to him since the very beginning. So if you're the Giants and you want him, or you're the Phillies and you want him, if you're one of the New York teams and you want him, you might have to do something crazy like that. And you're buying, you're getting a guy's prime, his 20s. So
I don't know. I mean, these are the same people who didn't want to give money to Yoshinobu, because they said, oh, he hasn't thrown a single pitch here. Like, how can you give so much money? So,
But
why would you
team-wise,
do it now when you don't have to? Is all I'm saying.
to guarantee that he is on your team.
I just don't. He's leaving so much money on the table that I don't think money.
But if you give him some of that money back, he'll sign with you.
But I don't think that's what his goal is. If you wanted to just come over here for the money and not worry about where he's going to play, then he just waits, and then he comes, later, and then he just gets as much money as he possibly can, and it doesn't matter where he goes.
Right.
So I think the destination is more important to him than the actual money.
Yeah, go to a large ballpark with the best defensive catcher in baseball. I just don't understand how that's not the biggest selling point. Like, I feel like there's something that no one talks about for pitchers. It's like you got the best framing catcher in baseball and the biggest ballpark in baseball. Why aren't pitchers just busting down Buster Posey's door to sign with the Giants? I don't understand it.
I don't know. They want to win.
Listen, we're not the Rockies, all right?
Like, you can give me all that, and I can have a good personal year, but I'm still going to be watching the Padres, the Giants.
We were just in the playoffs 3 years ago, all right? Like, we're not the worst run franchise ever.
You're the Giants, man. Get there again. Like, if you're selling him tomorrow on what you're doing, you're like, well, what's gone wrong the last 3 years? Why haven't you been in there? If you have good catchers, if you
that's when you scapegoat Farhan Zaidi and you tell him how bad Farhan was.
And then you're like, so you're hiring the wrong people. Okay, so that's good to know too.
Yeah, and we fixed the problem. We let Farhan, he was terrible, and now we got Buster mother effing Posey.
And you're like, how do I trust your judgment when you're, I don't know. Maybe I'm out of here.
I don't know. You tell him that Farhan sucked. Even and Farhan, the nerve. I feel like that when he went on to foul territory and was like, man, we just should have stayed the course and everything would have been fine. That's all you did was stay the course. I feel like I'm taking crazy pills. Like you never changed up. You always did your plan. You were getting week-long Giants the entire time. Oh my gosh. That was so painful.
Wait, but why aren't you more mad at John Heyman?
Why would I be mad at John Heyman?
Because Farhan said that they were in the ballpark and they thought they had a really good chance to land Judge. Nothing was out. They're like, Yankees and them are teetering right now. It doesn't look like they're, and so like we were right there and we were ready to pound. And then all of a sudden John Heyman says, you got him. He's like, where did this come from?
I don't think that was the deciding factor. The thing is, I felt like the Yankees were trying to get Judge at the lowest price point they could, and the Giants were trying to capitalize on that. And I think it was genuine that they felt like they had a chance, and I feel like they did maybe have a little bit of a chance. But when Aaron Judge calls the Steinbrenners, when Aaron Judge calls Hal Steinbrenner and is like, "Hey, WTF, the Giants offer me this," and then they're like, "All right, we'll make you the captain and we'll match it." There's nothing the Yankees had all the power. They were just trying to undercut him, which is the way the Giants get in.
My thing is, he ruined any hope you had because he was never beating the allegations. Because why would you send out that tweet when they were not even close? So he's never beating the allegations. I can't even believe it.
You know what? You're right. Fuck John Heyman. All my homies fuck John. Hate John Heyman. Oh fuck. Oop, my bad. You know what I mean? All right. Yeah.
I thought that was a better story and what he was saying than everything else. But you guys hate Farhan, so you didn't even want to hear him out.
Yeah, it was just weird stuff. Like the whole thing of, we wanted to be the Spurs and the Patriots of baseball. It's like, well, the Patriots had the best quarterback, arguably of all time. Like they had stars. Like you can't. Like they weren't like doing weird things to like, I don't know what I'm an NBA casual. I barely watch the NFL, so I can't make a comparison of what baseball platooning would be in football or basketball. So I don't know, but they did a lot of weird stuff in that really, how you say, like, deterred a lot of free agents, I feel like, because yeah, you're not going to platoon Carlos Correa, you're not going to platoon Aaron Judge then, but the way that they were acting, they would have done it 6 years down the line when they started going downhill. So there's a lot of things that Farhan did that it's like, oh, we're just trying to be, put ourselves in the best position and try to get the advantages of the platoons and the small advantages here. And it's like, but these guys aren't getting consistent at bats. It's really hard to just be, the right-handed platoon. You play once once a week, and you're just supposed to perform at that level. Like that's hard to do too. It's not about them not wanting to be part of the team. It's about and to be, unselfish. It's also a thing of like, dude, I haven't seen real game time in a week, and I'm supposed to, hit a home run off of Garrett Crochet or, whatever power lefty, Chris Sale. You know what I mean? It's
really
kind of crazy.
Yeah, nasty stuff coming at you, and you've been sitting there and you're cold. Yeah.
So like, yeah, every once in a while, maybe just leave some guys alone. Let Marco Luciano come up and just leave him the F alone. Let him go 0 for 20 in, and when every scout ever is telling you, hey, this guy's not a shortstop, you need to, put him at another position, and you don't listen. And then he finally comes up to the major leagues and you're like, I think he's not a shortstop. That's your fault. Everyone told you. That was in so many reports that like, they're going to have to move him to right field. They're going to have to move him to third base maybe because he has a good arm. He just doesn't have the range. He's a tall kid and this and this and that. That was everywhere. And then all of a sudden you want to be like, well, I think this guy's not a shortstop. I don't know why no one told me before. Okay,
this guy's pretty well regarded though. I mean, he's gonna land on his feet somewhere getting a job.
100%.
Maybe it wasn't the right spot, maybe just the right position, right? So, right. I think he'll be good somewhere else, but I don't think that he was doing as the guy. So,
right.
And no matter what he says now, you guys already have animosity towards him, so it doesn't matter what he says. Yeah. It's still gonna be like a sour taste in your mouth because of it.
Yeah, I get what you're saying, but also, I don't know. I don't know, dude. I don't know.
I just think you got Posey now. Let's see if things change. Let's see if they don't block the young guys when they come up, and there's a different thinking now. Maybe we'll see.
I hope so. We will. We shall see.
Come on, man. It's going to be the new year. We got to be hopeful for a lot of things. So, yeah, let's hope for both our teams do well.
Be hopeful. Fine. Let's talk about it. Do your victory lap. Be excited. It finally happened. What was your first thought when the news came out?
I was like, all right, well, let's see the contract. Let's see what they were haggling over, right? Let's see what was the big deal. And I think the Dodgers caved in a little bit. And they still deferred money. So, but I was a little worried.
Thanks for ruining baseball, by the way.
Yeah, because without him, the options were pretty limited. I don't know if I wanted them to trade a bunch of pieces for Robert in Chicago, a guy who was always injured, who, maybe the change of scenery, like they always say, maybe, but he's, he looked like he had given up in some points over there. And then Santander? Yeah. I don't know. I just wasn't really high on him. Then again, I didn't see too much of him,
right?
To know. So I think he was just a younger Teoscar, I think. But because, I don't know if anybody's been more endearing to the fans so quickly as freaking Teoscar has in 1 year. So, and then he had clutch moments. So it's a very nice reunion, and we know it may not look good at the end. That third year, it might not look great. Maybe even the second year might not look great, but
I think it would. He's not like 35. He's what, 33, 34?
My thing is he had a really, really good year. I don't know if he's going to replicate it. You know what I mean? And then we're going to be, it was a bad signing. Because he's obviously going to trend downward a little bit, but we'll see. I'm really happy he's back. I'm not saying I'm not happy he's back at all, but I'm just saying we'll see how it goes.
Wow, I thought you were going to be a little more victory lappy. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm shocked to my core. I don't know how old is he? He's 33. Am I crazy?
33? Yeah, I believe he's 33.
So, I mean, is 33, 34, 35. I don't think it's going to be that bad. And not only that, he has so much protection. Like he's like the sixth hitter in your lineup. Maybe
No, I mean,
five.
for the clubhouse, it's amazing. I think it's a great move because he's just that smile. He's just another like Freddie type player, kind of, so, and he's clutch. It's just,
He
we got
just turned
Conforto,
32. He's
and if that's
32.
the defense, if that's the defense, Conforto and him, it's a little dicey.
Yes, that is one positive. No fly balls would be caught in that outfield.
But then again, the rotation's so filthy. Is there really going to be that many fly balls? So we'll see.
Yeah, the strikeout fly balls. So Blake Snell's going to be really pissed off. But yeah, he's 32. He just turned 32. So he's going to be 32, 33, 34. He's going to be fine. All that protection in the lineup.
I'm not happy he's back. I'm really happy he's back. But then it's
You
always that.
sound like you're not that happy. That's what it sounds like.
You know what's funny? It's like when you want to re-sign a player, it's like when you finally get him back, it's like, well, we just went back to what we were. We didn't really,
right,
like kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I kind of feel like that, but at the same time, it's like if we didn't have him, it'd be looking really dicey right now. So I'm glad he's back.
Like how a fly ball in the outfield is going to look the entire year next year. Really dicey.
Hey, he threw out Stanton, so if everybody tries to run on him, he's going to throw him out. So
yeah,
as long as they run, as slow as Stanton.
Who's playing center? Is it going to be, Edman?
Yeah, I think Edman.
Tommy Edman. You're going to need to stretch before every game. You're going to need to make sure to eat your Wheaties. Because you're going to have to run in from line to line. You're going to have to connect with your inner Willie Mays. Because
you're making it seem like Teoscar's not going to, he doesn't know where the fly ball is. Like he
doesn't know Teoscar doesn't know what a fly ball is.
These guys are not Kyle Schwarber in the outfield. Okay, they're not. He is
worse than Kyle Schwarber. Michael Conforto is worse than me in the outfield. So
I don't know. It's a 1-year deal. Maybe they capture the Teoscar magic with him too, man. We never know.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, he's gonna be hitting like
Everybody will be mad at
lineup.
that too.
That's crazy. He was like our number 3 hitter for a while, so that's good news. I guess we should talk about the Giants a little bit, right? I mean, since we're here, is there anything else you wanted to talk about besides the way you ruined baseball again with more deferrals and more bonuses?
Hey, we still need Tanner Scott, so we still got another move to break baseball. Okay. And if Sasaki comes, then the internet will explode.
If Sasaki is a Dodger, if you think about it, it's the most bullshit move ever. Like, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what to do.
I think it's funny how everybody's like, I've seen Padres fans. Well, come, you'll be the guy here. You're like, come lose with us. Come lose with us.
You won 1 World Series. Let's calm it down a little bit. You won 1 World Series in like 15 years in the playoffs. Let's calm it down just a little bit here.
That's the second one. And secondly, they haven't won ever. So for Padres fans to say, come win with us, come win the first one with us, like, you want to put all the pressure on this guy, fine. That's whatever. But, like, telling them to come lose with us when your team's spending less money. They haven't made a single move. And so, like, you have the Dodgers trying. You have the Giants trying. I don't know. They other teams have chances too. I just don't think just because he's going there.
No, but I don't think that – I don't know. I get it. The Dodgers are there every year. The Dodgers are in the playoffs every year, and I get it. 100% I get it. But to say there's like that's your only chance to win is with the Dodgers, that's a little reachy. That's a little far-fetched to me.
No, but they have been in the playoffs so far, way more than, any other team, I guess. Right? They've been there consistently.
The last 15 years, yeah.
So you do get a chance. Even if they've choked, at least you get the chance to, be there. So.
Well, then you could say that with the Padres, too. They only, in the last couple of years, they missed it, in 2022, was it?
No, the
Or 53?
2022 is when they beat us.
Oh,
No, before that. And
that's nice.
before that, they had missed, what, 15, 14 years in a row? Like, okay, come on.
I know, but we're talking about now, though.
All these new fans are like, yeah, no, we're a good team. But, like, come on. It's not that far off when you guys were, like, thirsty for just an appearance.
Right, but the good thing with the Dodgers is, I mean, the good thing will be in like 4 or 5 years when all these contracts are starting to kind of look bad, when Shohei is going to be 35 and Mookie Betts is going to be like 35 and Freddie Freeman's going to be on his last leg on the last like year or two on his contract. Like that's when I think the Dodgers empire is going to start to go down. And I feel like the Padres might be there now. Like you're looking at it. Besides Tatis is still very young, still very good. But I don't know. He had a terrible year. Well, I don't want to say terrible for him, but he's starting to go down. He is what now 33, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I think their window was. I mean, I don't know. I mean, they obviously have a lot of good players still. It's not like they're the Rockies, right?
Jackson Merrill, right. Yeah.
But their window was like 2022 was a prime, like they should have done it that year, right? Because now the Dodgers have Ohtani, the Giants are getting better again. Like it's going to be tougher for them. Ooh. So, and if they don't land Sasaki, like what does it look like? Is it Dylan C's gone? So, yeah, I don't know. I like where the Giants are going. I don't know if this. Obviously, I'm just gonna hate on the Padres. So why not?
100%. Yeah, Machado turns 33 in the middle of the season next year. So, I don't know, dude. I feel like it's gonna start to look ugly for the Dodgers in like 5 years. It's gonna start to look ugly for the Padres. If not this year, maybe next year. Because I mean, Darvish is a year older. I mean, but Musgrove is starting to get old.
Do you think the Dodgers are just gonna let it crumble like that? Oh yeah, we did our work in 20 whatever, and now we're just gonna let it all go to crap.
Maybe at the end you could trade Freddie Freeman back to Atlanta for him to get some DH role out there or something. You can't hide Mookie at shortstop. I mean, that's the most wild thing in the world to me that they're putting Mookie at shortstop, and in the outfield they're just getting really bad outfielders. So that is strange to me. Their stars are going to be old, and they haven't produced a star. I remember the last star they produced was what? Will Smith?
Yes.
So
pitching wise, they're a machine. They can just produce any pitcher.
No, Blake Snell's going to be 36 in 4 years. You got, I don't know. Like I'm just saying, if you're Roki Sasaki, you're kind of like, well, the Giants are on the up and up. You got Kyle Harrison, who's young. You got Logan Webb, who's still young. You got Hayden Birdsong, who's young.
That's where you're going.
Dudes.
I was wondering where you're going with
you got
all
the
this.
best defensive catcher in baseball who is young, still in his mid-20s. I don't know. I feel the Giants are on the up and up. Am I crazy?
Yeah, a little bit. I don't know if you go into a meeting and go, hey, man, you see the sparkles, the championships, we just won, the stars, versus, hey, we got the defensive catcher.
Well, if you're talking about sparkles and championships in the past, I mean, they would be like, hey, these were our championships. This is how good we were. We had a transition period, and now we're on the up and up. I think you can help us get to that next level where we can get 3 more trophies in this case because of someone like you. That's a good sell than like, hey, Ohtani's going to be trash in 5 years probably, right?
And then you're the guy. And then you're the guy. So
no, but then you got to carry Ohtani. You're still not going to get the same. You're still not going to get the same publicity as Ohtani. You're not going to. I'm just putting things out there.
You're like, hey, if Ohtani's going to start to trend down at some point, hey man, you get the endorsements too. Like you're the guy. So there you go.
You're going to be the 3rd most famous Japanese player on your team. Like you come to the Giants, you're going to be probably like one of the most loved players, period, on the team. So,
well, I mean, I guess it depends what he wants, right? Like, do you want to go be popular and just, hope that you win a championship someday, or do you want to,
boom.
you know,
There we go. Help you win a champ. That's pretty
or do
much
you want
it.
to go somewhere where you got a chance to win it every year? There you
Yeah.
go. We'll see.
No, I get you. Well, so Willie Adames is 29. It's gonna be a 29-year season. He still's got a lot of time left. Man,
In like 2-3 years when he starts breaking.
yeah. But we don't have someone clogging up the DH spot. He can move over to second. He can go to first. We got spots open, baby. Yeah. So Giants have a lot to do. Well, I'm not sure if they have a lot to do in the aspect of like they have a lot that they're still going to do, because they do want a pitcher, and I think they want an upgraded bat. But it looks like the reports are coming out from Mark Feinstein that the Giants have an offer on the table for Corbin Burnes, but Corbin Burnes wants at least $245 million. So obviously it means the Giants are below that. Maybe they're at 220, 230. I don't know. But it just seems like, what kind of bat are you going to try to get that's going to be an upgrade if you still want to be under the luxury tax? I think right now, the reports are like they're like about 40 million away. So do you get Corbin Burnes for 30, 35 million? And then you got basically you can't add anybody else, or I don't know, maybe you go via trade somewhere that only adds 4 or 5 million to the payroll, but you were able to get rid of Yastrzemski's money or Taylor Rogers' money. I don't know. I just don't know. Like there's not a lot out there to upgrade your first base. I mean, there's a whole article from the Giants MLB beat writer. I don't know how to say her last name, so I don't want to kill it, but it's Maria G. We're gonna go with Maria G. She wrote an article about who that they should go after, and there's nobody on there. Like, it's like, well, Pete Alonso is out there, but they're not going to want to block Bryce Eldridge. So maybe they trade for Yandy Diaz. That's like 2 options, and that's it. I mean, maybe we go back to, hey, Nolan, why don't you just, because the Dodgers don't want you, why don't you stick it to them and go play first base for us?
Yeah, that's a good option, man. Yandy, I forgot about Yandy Diaz. I think that's a better option than Arenado. Like,
But
you're going
it's
to pay
not,
less.
though. It's not.
But you think you're going to get Arenado at his best. You're hoping you
No.
get him at his best. And if you don't...
No. Arenado at his worst is like, but if you take out Yandy Diaz's, what was it, 2 years ago when he had his best year, you take out that's way lower than Nolan Arenado right now. So
sure, okay, but Yandy Diaz with the money he's going to be owed compared to what you had last year, not to Arenado, but what you had last year, anybody, and I think it's already an upgrade.
It ain't my money, and actually, no, this is what I like to say. It is my money. I spend a lot of money on jerseys and going tickets and all the kind of memorabilia shit, right? You spend all this hard-earned money on it. You want your owners to spend some money. So you know what? Yeah, I don't care that they're going to, instead of, they're going to save 8, 9, 10, $15 million from going to Yandy Diaz to Nolan Arenado. Nolan Arenado is way better. So, but if Nolan Arenado is really picky about where he's going, if Houston's not good enough for him, I don't think we're going to see him in the orange and black, but it is a thought.
We were talking about Roki, and we were talking about before how Burnes was like, maybe they're waiting on that, but I don't see that because Sasaki isn't costing you anything. So I don't understand why he's just not signed yet. Is it just that he doesn't have a market?
Who?
Burnes?
I think he has a market, but I think Sasaki is holding it up because I think
it costs nothing. So like it doesn't really change your payroll.
But that's the point. Like if let's say for instance, if the Giants got Roki in this situation, I find it very far-fetched. No way am I saying do I think Roki Sasaki is going to be a Giant. I would love it, but I just don't. It seems pretty far-fetched. But let's say he does become a Giant. Then they're like, okay, let's take that money and go get Pete Alonso and not spend it on another starter where our rotation is going to be good. We need a bat more than we need in the starter. So I think there are some flexibility issues. You know what I mean? Like there's a lot of teams that are like, well, if we get Roki, we don't need to give this guy $30 million a year. Especially we're going to have to pay him $30 million a year for 2 or 3 years after 35. So, let's go get a bat instead.
Or you can get both, and your rotation's that much more stacked.
No, you could, but if let's say like in the Giants, Eric, that's what we're talking about here. They want to be under luxury tax, right? So they got $40 million to play with. If you don't trade away Yastrzemski, or you don't trade away Lamont Wade, you don't trade away Wilmer Flores. So you have $40 million and you get Roki. Okay, let me use that money to go get, Pete Alonso. Maybe you say, screw it. We do Pete Alonso and we have a DH when Bryce Eldridge comes up. Or let's see if Bryce Eldridge can play some freaking left field or something. I would rather have Roki Sasaki and Pete Alonso than Corbin Burnes and
you'll be looking for pitching at the trade deadline, man, because I don't know why everybody thinks he's just going to come over and just like pitch as many innings as Corbin Burnes did. I don't see that. He's going to have to adjust. They're going to baby him in some teams, right? So he's gonna be, even if he is your number one, he's not going to be there all the time. I
don't think he'd be number one right now. But what I'm saying
that's what you're making it seem if you're choosing him over Burnes.
No, what I'm saying is the situation of for money, I would rather have Roki Sasaki and Pete Alonso, and then maybe you even sign I don't know if they would still do like a Jack Flaherty at that point, but maybe a Jack Flaherty, or maybe even a Kyle Gibson instead of Jack Flaherty. And like, hey, we got someone who can give us some innings. We got the upside in Roki Sasaki, and we got one of the best bats in baseball in Pete Alonso. Instead of, and don't get me wrong, I love Corbin Burnes. I keep every single time I get an update from Twitter, I'm like, San Francisco signs to Corbin Burnes. I keep thinking that I'm going to see it. So I'm in no way am I hating it. And if the Giants sign Corbin Burnes, I'm going to be ecstatic, and he's the best pitcher in the world, and I don't care about anything else. So, but that is a better situation if you're
money wise.
Pete Alonso.
I see,
and that's a realistic type deal. Like you can't, of course it would be great if you got Corbin Burnes, Roki Sasaki, and Pete Alonso. Yeah, of course that'd be great.
Well, I don't think there's anywhere where you get all three, but yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, you're gonna have to kind of pick your lane, and I'm sorry, like they can't even eat Nolan Arenado money if he's even willing to go to San Francisco if you get Corbin Burnes, because they want to stay under the luxury tax. I mean, maybe they say, hey, you got to eat this money, plus we're giving you Mike Yastrzemski, or plus we're giving you Taylor Rogers, something like that. Maybe you can finagle a way to get under, but no say.
Yeah. I mean, I think he's going to have to come to a team. It's going to not have to, but it'll help to come to a team that has an established rotation already that like doesn't need him to fill in and be the guy right away. Because I think it'll be tough for him to do that.
I don't think he would be the guy, though. I mean, you still got Logan Webb up top. You got Robbie Ray right there. You got two super prospects in Kyle Harrison and Hayden Birdsong that came up a little early, so they're not prospect, status, but they're very young. I think they're both 22 and 23. It's their future is really bright, and they had a full season already where I think they were both over 150 innings, if I'm not mistaken. I have to double check, but then you also got Jordan Hicks, who, he was extremely good the first couple months, but he was also kind of
running out of gas.
Yeah, but he was also ridden past his limit. I mean, there was only 2 stars. It was like, no, we can't give you any time off. We literally just have Logan Webb and you in our starting rotation right now. So,
do you think whatever team he ends up with will have to adapt to a 6-man rotation?
No.
You don't think so? You think they're going to let him go 5 every time he's out there?
Yeah. I think what they'll do is what they wanted to do with Jordan Hicks is like, hey, we're going to have to Phantom IL you when you're feeling a little iffy. Let's Phantom IL you for a little bit. And
no. I'm not talking about Hicks. I was talking about Sasaki.
That's what I'm talking about. What they wanted to do with Hicks, what they couldn't do last year because there's no pitching. But like what I think they'll do with Roki is like, hey, we want you to pitch every 5 days, and the only way to get you used to it is to throw you out there. So we'll do every 5 days, and if you need a a breather, a phantom IL, you're getting fatigue, then yeah, we'll sit you down and we'll let the other guys hit it.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's going to be great no matter where he goes. I just think he's not going to be full goal all season. I don't think so. But maybe I could be dead wrong. We'll know. Who knows?
I think I know. And Kyle Harrison and Hayden Burnsong are both 23. So put that in your pipe and smoke it. So back to Dodger talk. Do you think the Dodgers are done? Or what else do you think they need?
I think they have a couple moves left. I think they're probably one that's big if it happens. I would think they're still on Tanner Scott to get the reliever. But I don't know. It seems like they were in for Devin Williams, and then they just got undercut at the end by the Yankees. So I don't know if that means like, oh, now we'll just go look elsewhere, and maybe Tanner Scott's too pricey. Who knows? But I hope they get a reliever, and I think they need to bring back another bench piece. I don't know if Kike's coming back, but maybe trade him for CT3. Like maybe switch those guys up, like go CT3 finally. But yeah, I think they have a couple of moves left. I don't think they're going to be huge unless it's Tanner Scott. But yeah.
Yeah, but with Tanner Scott, you're going to have to sign him for $15 million a year, and you'll pay him $1 million a year and just defer the rest of everything.
I mean, has anybody signed relievers yet? Like
the Dodgers signed Blake Triton. I guess that's the only one I can think of.
Right? Like because Jansen's still out there too, I think.
Kenley Jansen?
Yeah, I thought so, right?
That is a good question. I will look that up.
Unless he's on his final year with the Red Sox. That might be it. I'm not sure. But
no, I think you're right. I think that's another kind of crazy market too that I didn't really think of, that nobody has signed any relief pitching. Let's see. Tanner Scott's available. Jeff Hoffman, David Robertson's available. Roldis Chapman signed. Clay Holmes signed, which he's not a reliever anymore. Sean Armstrong. Hobie Mindler. I'm not making names up. That's a real name. Yimi Garcia signed with Toronto, but there's a lot of decent relievers on the market right now. Yeah, Kenley Jansen is a free agent. Chris Martin, Carlos Estevez, the closer that was traded. I mean, Dylan Floro's still out there. Kirby Yates is still out there. Yeah, the relief market is actually pretty good.
That list looks seems pretty old. Like the age,
right?
Wise of the players. I think if the first couple ones that you named, that's where you want to be at with the Dodgers. Like Hoffman, maybe Scott. If not, I think you got to go see if you can trade for someone. Everybody else seems pretty on the older side.
Yeah, but if you go for the older side, you just give them a 1-year deal, see what happens.
True. If they take it,
that's what you want from a reliever, anyways.
You get the Daniel Hudson treatment. That they take
you
up.
You guys got Gallegos.
Yeah, they picked him up as a flyer, huh? Yeah.
Yeah, these are MILB deal. That sucks. Closing games for Team Mexico, and now I gotta hate them. So,
you don't have to, man. You don't have to. You put that hate aside, and you root for him. You root for that guy in blue.
I hate the way that he walks. I hate the way that he talks. I hate everything about him. Yeah, man. I mean, this free agency is kind of weird because it started really fast and now it's really gone to a standstill. Man, does Justin Verlander or Max Scherzer, do they even want to pitch? Like, does anybody gotten any type of news on what's going on with Justin Verlander? Max? Are they like, dude, I'm in my 40s. I don't care anymore. Leave me alone.
Does anybody want to pay Bregman? Like, what's going on with that too? Like,
right. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think, and that's another thing too. That's might be holding up the whole the Burnes thing too. Because maybe not. Because I know Boston was in on him, but they already got their starters. I think the Burnes market is the Giants in Toronto. I can't think of. There's no other reports that no one's trying to pay that type of money. So,
dude, Toronto. I feel bad for Toronto. It's like nobody ever wants to go there. Ohtani said no. They said they were on Teoscar. They didn't get Teoscar. They said they were on Soto for a bunch of money. They didn't get Soto. Like, I know we make fun of the Giants because they tried.
yeah,
but
that was us, and you didn't. No one felt bad for me. Okay,
yeah, but
so no, I
Toronto
don't feel
doesn't even
bad
get on
for
the
him.
table. Like, it doesn't even seem like they get. We don't even hear the offer. Like, they're just like no from the
You talk
start.
Ohtani was on a plane. They're talking about.
Yeah, he was on a plane. He had bought a house apparently, according to somebody, but didn't happen.
Which that's very Giantsy. I mean, that's a very looks like Arson Judge is headed to San Francisco. That's a very Carlos Correa doesn't pass his physical type shit. So, yeah, I'm just glad it's not the Giants anymore. We're not the butt of the joke. So, the Pete Alonso market is also it's kind of interesting because I think it's come out that the Mets offered him 3 for 90. Then they've also offered him 135 for 5. I don't know, man. I feel like if you could get him for 135 for 5, I think you do that deal.
I don't know, man. I mean, yeah, you can get him. I think it just doesn't end well, that deal.
Last couple of years, let him DH or whatever. But right-handed power plays in Oracle. I've said it 1,000 times. When he's a dude when he comes up, I like he makes Oracle look small. So I don't think he has any problems hitting home runs at Oracle. The same way Aaron Judge doesn't have problems hitting home runs.
And we've said it before. He's a lovable, goofy dude. So whatever fan base gets him is immediately gonna love the guy. So we'll see.
Yeah, we need somebody, man. Give us somebody love. But we love you guys for hanging out with us. I know we took our Christmas break a little early. We were talking about, hey, let's podcast. Well, you know what? Let's just wait another couple days because I think something's gonna happen. And then now we're on Friday and we're like, let's just talk. And then Teoscar signs at the buzzer. So
he hit us with the back.
Say what?
He hit us with the back on Instagram.
Yeah, whatever.
Mic drop. I'm back.
We're gonna get that too. We're gonna get that eventually. It's gonna be really great. I'd love to be a part of that someday. But thank you guys so much for listening. We'll be back next week, right?
Yes.
All the time.
We will be. I hope you guys had happy holidays. We'll see you guys next year.
Will it be next year? By the time the next episode is? Oh yeah, it's the 27th. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Well, thank you guys for hanging out with us this whole year. Make sure to subscribe to us on your favorite podcasting platform, as well as YouTube. And yeah, we'll see you next week, which is next year. Maybe we'll be more attractive. Who knows? Maybe we won't be. We probably won't be. So, tamales are good. So,
yeah.
See you next week.